Good morning, welcome to a morning review. This is Kim Watson speaking on Friday the 17th of July. Okay, looking at the euro dollar first, and as you see, the euro is pretty much coming back down to the lows that we saw in May. It's not far off that now. It's sitting in onto the monthly S1 there. It could just continue on this route. It's looking relatively bearish. It could easily run. If it breaks yesterday's lows, well, we're then really swinging short, really, into a bigger move. We've seen a pivot swing at the top of this move. We're now just, as I say, pushing down. A break of that low would see it's really next support. Well, there's a bit of support around, well, actually on that low, just looking at the prior highs, sitting around there. But beyond that, well, then looking for the sort of next sort of pivotal area over here, and maybe those lows of the previous high somewhere in that sort of well, it's difficult to actually see which of these would make a significant difference. Perhaps those prior lows here first with a high around about with a high, so it's this sort of midi area 1.07 may provide some support, but really we've run out of it from that perspective. Let's just have a quick look from a weekly picture. Is there any support now? See, we've run out of all the key moving averages here, and from a weekly perspective it's looking bearish. So as I say, we could just continue running southward from here. Okay, so looking at the daily 4 hourly, well, it's popped up back towards that upper 8 moving average there, towards the upper band, and reacted off that at the moment. What we're seeing now, well, let's just refresh this, and we've seen the daily pivot already hit. So if it carries on sliding down, maybe we've taken out the late US session into the Asian session there. If we take those lows out, we could be heading, as I say, we're certainly down towards the daily S1 and maybe beyond. So it's certainly, as I say, if we see yesterday's lows taken out, it's triggering a sort of a longer term swing short for me. Right, okay, that's the euro. Looking at cable. Cable's still edging upwards, and we're seeing a sort of further strength. There's quite a lot of talk about interest rates increasing at the turn of the year, so providing certain measures and certain things are in place, but it's pushing up. It's pushed above yesterday's highs now, and again, this well, whilst the euro's triggering shorts, this is pushing up and looking quite bullish. Looking from a 60-minute perspective, well, we're already on yesterday's highs here, or pretty close on yesterday's highs here. If we can break this level, well, we could be pushing up and heading up towards Wednesday's highs, and then, well, maybe the daily R2 there. But the pivots are quite pinched here, so the range within these R1s, which are often much of the day's movement, could be broken. Just see how we react. As I say, we need to really break yesterday's highs to give us confidence in pushing on upwards there. But it is looking bullish now. Dollar yen is looking bullish too. So it's a weakness with the yen. Now, if you look at the moves over the last few days, it's just been sort of making higher highs all the way through here in the short term. It's possibly doing a little top out here. Let's have a look at what's happening here. We've been edging towards sort of this divergence pattern. It's just sort of on this 4 hours, and this is just sort of diverging a little bit, which may see us come off a little. At the moment, we're just sort of sitting there holding on to the daily pivot. The trouble is the range yesterday for much of the day sitting in very small ranging periods, and then a sort of slightly bigger move, and then it's tight again. So it's just maybe just topping out here in terms of what it's doing, possibly. Any sort of retracement, well, looking really back down to the hourly 50 and possibly below. It's very difficult to see really where we're going at the moment, though. The easiest way is buying the dollar yen as opposed to selling it, and maybe we could get a bounce up to the R1 and or R2. As I say, very, very tight ranges, which when the range is reduced like this, you just wonder whether it's going to just consolidate or just roll over more likely. Okay, looking at the Aussie dollar, still really in this consolidation phase here from a daily perspective, and well, there's not much else to be said about that. It's already come down, clipped. It's actually, I'm just looking at these bars here. See, it's already clipped its daily pivot there, not far off. Let's remove that one. That's out of the way. It's from what we're looking at here from this, from the hourly perspective. Well, any break of the highs, well, looking then for the R1, but at the moment it's just very, very bitter. He did a W bottom yesterday and managed to hold on to that and continue pushing. Today it's a little bit less sure in terms of what it's already sort of broken that low there, so putting a lower high in effectively in price terms. So erring weak again at the moment, which means it could just if we start seeing it sell off and break below the daily pivot, it may be worth looking for shorts towards yesterday's lows and the S1. So indecisive. Any break above the high though, well, certainly then I'd be looking really towards the R1 area, yesterday's highs and the R1 week back towards that weekly pivot. But at the moment, it looks, as I say, a bit indecisive. Could be a bit of a bull flag sitting there. Okay, news-wise today, we really don't have anything until 1:30 sort of time. So, and we've got the Canadian CPI coming out, US building permits and CPI. So, clash of data there between Canada, US to watch out for. So, but anything decent there from the US could see a bit more volatility in this current market. Having heard Yellen saying they're still looking for potential interest rate increases. Okay, that's it from me. I'll speak to you next week. Have a great weekend. Bye for now.